Plan A failed. You gave it everything and it didn't work. But God was never counting on Plan A. He had a backup plan the whole time. And the backup plan is better than the original because it was designed by someone who already knew Plan A would fail. If this sound reached your heart, hit subscribe. More music like this drops every week. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Jeremiah 29 verse 11.
Oh yeah. Oh, 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 Plan A failed, you gave it everything. The time, the tears, the effort, and it still crashed, and the wreckage is at your feet tonight. But God was never counting on Plan A. He watched you build it knowing it would fall, because the backup plan was always the real plan in His sight. The backup plan doesn't feel like a promotion, it feels like a demotion, because the road to Plan B goes through the ashes of Plan A and the fight. For I know the plans I have for you, and the plans were never Plan A. The plans were always the backup that was waiting behind the door on the right. Plan A had your fingerprints on it, Plan B has God's fingerprints. And the difference between the two is the difference between effort and might. And the backup plan says stop mourning Plan A. The failure was the doorway, and what's behind the backup door is bigger than what crashed tonight. For I know the plans I have for you, the backup plan activates tonight. And the failure of Plan A was the doorway to the plan God designed from the heights. The backup plan because the real plan was always the backup waiting behind the door. I didn't try the backup plan.
My fingerprints were on Plan A,
but God's fingerprints are on Plan B. And the difference is why I know the plans, and the plans were never the one that failed. The plans were the one waiting for the failure to clear the sky. The backup plan and the wreckage of Plan A is the doorway to something bigger, because God's backup was the original design from on high. The backup plan activated for Moses. Plan A was Egyptian prince, but the backup was deliverer of nations, and the switch was a burning bush in the sand. The backup plan activated for Ruth. Plan A was marriage in Moab, but the backup was Boaz and a royal bloodline, and the switch was a death that changed the land. The backup plan activated for Paul. Plan A was Pharisee, but the backup was apostle to the nations, and the switch was 3 days of blindness. Plan and the backup plan says the greatest stories in the Bible started when Plan A failed, because God's backup was always the real destination on the strand. Your Plan A just crashed, the wreckage is real, but the backup plan is activating right now, and the door behind the failure is opening with His hand. The backup plan says walk through And what's waiting on the other side is the plan God drew before you drew yours in the sand. The backup plan failed, but God was never counting on it, because the real plan was always the backup waiting behind the door. I didn't try the backup plan.
My fingerprints were on plan A,
But God's fingerprints are on plan B. And the difference is why plan A crashed,
plan B,
activates, my plan failed.
but God's
Plan waits his fingerprints.
not mine.
The backup plan is divine. The backup plan, the door behind the failure just opened, and what's on the other side is bigger than anything plan A could have produced. And the backup was the real plan all along.
Backup plan,
And the God who knew plan A would fail had plan B ready before I drew my first blueprint. And the backup is strong. From every failure I mourned, thinking the plan was over, not knowing God's backup was waiting behind the wreckage to prove me wrong. The backup plan is active and the door is open, and the real plan just started. And plan A was never the destination, it was the song. The backup plan, the backup plan, God's plan was always plan B. An override is when the system takes manual control away from the operator, because the operator is driving into danger, and the system knows better than the hands on the wheel. And God just hit override on your life. The plans you were steering toward were heading for the cliff, and the system took the wheel, because the designer saw what you couldn't feel. The override feels like losing control. The steering wheel stops responding. The car turns on its own, and the driver panics because the hands are disconnected from the deal. But the override was the same. The cliff was 200 meters ahead, and the system that took control is the system that sees the road you can't see from the keel. The law directs the steps, and the directing is the override. The moments when your plan stopped working because a higher system took control of the real. And the override says the loss of control you felt last week was not punishment. It was the system saving you from a cliff you couldn't see behind the seal. The law directs the steps.
the override takes control tonight.
And the cliff I was heading for is behind me, because the system saw what I couldn't see in the light. The override, God took the wheel from my hands, because I was steering toward a cliff I couldn't see, and the system saved me before the edge. The override, losing control felt like punishment, but the car turned on its own, and the cliff was 200 meters ahead on the ledge. The Lord directs the steps,
The override,
and the hands that took the wheel see the road better than mine from the hedge.
the override,
And the loss of control I panicked about was the same that kept me alive, because the designer overrode the pledge. override turned Joseph's direction. Sold into slavery was the system, taking the wheel from a dreamer, heading for family destruction. And the pit was the reroute. The override turned Jonah's direction. Swallowed by a fish was the system, correcting a prophet running from the mission. And the belly was the route. The override turned Paul's direction. Blinded on the road was the system, stopping a persecutor 3 days from destroying the church and the brute. And the override says every loss of control in the Bible was a system save. The designer saw the cliff before the operator did and took the loot. Your override happened recently. The plans that stopped working, the door that slammed, the steering that went dead. The system took over and the fruit. The override says let go of the wheel. The system driving now sees every curve, every cliff, every danger ahead and the pursuit. The override, God took the wheel from my hands because I was steering toward a cliff I couldn't see, and the system saved me before the edge. The override, losing control felt like punishment, but the car turned on its own and the cliff was 200 meters ahead on the ledge. Hands off, system on, the wheel turned, the cliff is gone. Not punishment, but to save. The override pulled me from the grave. Ooh. The override, the wheel turned on its own, and the cliff I was heading for is behind me. And the system that took control just saved me from a crash I never saw coming. The override and the God who sees every road ahead just overrode my direction, because the designer knows the map better than the driver. And it's becoming from every door that slammed, every plan that failed, every steering wheel that went dead, not knowing it was the override saving me from the oncoming. The override saved me, and the cliff is behind, and the new direction is set by the designer, and the road ahead is the one worth the running. The override, the override, the override. The system saved me. Farmers store food in root cellars underground. The temperature stays cool year round, and the harvest that was gathered in October still feeds the family in February from the cold. And God has a root cellar in your life, blessings stored underground from seasons past. Provisions you forgot were gathered, but the cellar kept them fresh and they hold. The root cellar says the harvest from 3 years ago is still feeding you today, because what God preserved underground doesn't rot and doesn't grow old. He stores up sound wisdom for the upright, and the cellar is the storage, the underground vault where the wisdom and the provision wait for the season when you need them and their gold. You've been living off the root cellar without knowing it. The patience you learned 5 years ago, the faith you built last season, underground storage still providing in the cold. And the root cellar says the harvest you thought was consumed is still feeding you, because God stores what He grows, and the provisions never mold. He stores up sound wisdom for the upright. The root cellar opens tonight, and the provisions stored from seasons past are still fresh and still feeding in the light. The root cellar, blessings from
seasons
are still feeding me today. Because God stored
what he harvested,
and the provisions never expired underground. The root cellar, the patience I learned years ago, the faith I built last season, still fresh in the cellar, still nourishing and still sound. He stores up wisdom,
the root cellar,
and the harvest I forgot was gathered is still providing in this season. When I need it most around. The root cellar and the provisions God stored underground 3 seasons ago just surfaced, because this is the winter they were kept for and they found. The root cellar fed Israel with skills learned in Egypt. 400 years of building storage that became the skills to build the tabernacle in the desert sand. The root cellar fed David with worship learned in the pasture. Lonely songs to sheep that became the psalms a nation still sings with raised hand. The root cellar fed Peter with 3 years of walking with Jesus, stored underground until Pentecost, when the cellar opened and 3,000 were brought to the band. And the root cellar says nothing God grew in your past was wasted. Every lesson, every trial, every skill was stored underground for the season you needed, and it's grand. Your root cellar is full, skills you forgot you had,
faith you forgot you built,
wisdom you forgot you learned. And this winter is the season the cellar was planned. The root cellar says reach down, the provisions are fresh, and what God stored from your past is exactly what this season requires in the land. Oh, the root cellar blessings from past seasons are still feeding me today, because God stored
what he harvested,
and the provisions never expired underground. The root cellar, the patience I learned years ago, the faith I built last season, still fresh in the cellar, still nourishing and still sound. Stored below,
still fresh,
past harvest
feeds the rest,
underground vault,
never rotting.
The root cellar keeps me plotting. The root cellar, I just reached underground, and the provisions stored from 3 seasons ago are still fresh, and the harvest I forgot about is feeding me right now in this winter. The root cellar and the God who stores what he grows just opened the cellar. And what I need today was gathered years ago, and it's a winner. From every winter I panicked thinking I had nothing stored, not knowing the root cellar was full of provisions from seasons I forgot to remember. The root cellar is open and the provisions are fresh, and the past harvest feeds the present winter, and God wastes nothing. From September, the root cellar, the root cellar, the past still feeds today.
When a diver runs out of air underwater, there's a backup oxygen tank strapped to his side. He forgot it was there until the main tank went empty, and the backup gave him enough breath to reach the surface. Tonight God is handing you the backup tank. Your air ran out, but his didn't. Stay. The best song on this album is still ahead. Subscribe so you never miss one. Then the Lord God formed a man from the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. Genesis 2 verse 7.
The main tank ran empty, the gauge hit zero, the lungs tightened, and the surface felt miles away in the deep. But strapped to the side was a backup tank you forgot was there, and the backup gave you enough breath to reach the top from the steep. God breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and the breath that started you is the same breath that sustains you in the deep. The oxygen tank says your air ran out, but God's air didn't. And the backup breath is enough to reach the surface from the sleep. You've been holding your breath for months, running on empty lungs, but the tank on your side just opened, and the air flows in the key. And the oxygen tank says breathe, the backup is full, and the surface is closer than you think when you stop holding and just breathe in the lead. He breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. The oxygen tank opens tonight, and the air I ran out of is being replaced by a breath that comes from the source of all life and the light. The oxygen tank, my air ran out, but God's backup tank just opened, and the breath flowing in is enough to reach the surface from the deep. The oxygen tank, the gauge hit zero, but the backup was strapped to my side the whole time, and I forgot it was there in the sweet. He breathed life, the oxygen, and the breath from the source that started me is the same breath sustaining me in the steep. The oxygen tank and the lungs that were empty just filled because the backup tank was always there, and the air is deep. The oxygen tank breathed life into the valley of dry bones, an entire army with empty lungs, but God's breath filled every chest and they stood. The oxygen tank breathed life into Lazarus, 4 days of no air, but one word from Jesus and the lungs filled, and the dead man stood where he could. The oxygen tank breathed life into the disciples at Pentecost. Fear had collapsed their lungs, but the rushing wind filled every chest in the hood. And the oxygen tank says the emptiest lungs in history receive the fullest breath, because God's tank has no gauge and no limit and no should. Your lungs are empty right now, you can feel the tightness, but the backup tank just cracked open and the first breath is entering. Ooh, and it's good. The oxygen tank says breathe deep, the air is unlimited, and the surface you thought was unreachable is now 2 breaths away in the wood. The oxygen tank, my air ran out, but God's backup tank just opened, and the breath flowing in is enough to reach the surface from the deep. The oxygen tank, the gauge hit zero, but the backup was strapped to my side the whole time, and I forgot it was there in the sweet. Gauge hit zero, backup open, the air flows in, my lungs are golden, not my breath but his air. The oxygen tank was always there. The oxygen tank, the first breath from the backup just filled my lungs, and the surface is visible and the tightness is gone, because God's air replaced what I ran out of. The oxygen tank, and the God who breathed life into dust just breathed into my empty lungs, and the air is unlimited and it's enough. From every moment I gasped, thinking my air was gone, not knowing the backup tank was strapped to my side, full and ready and tough. The oxygen tank is open, and I'm breathing, and the surface is close, and the air is God's, and the lungs are full, and the breath is love. The oxygen tank, the oxygen tank. Breathe again, breathe again. Oh, yeah. Friction is what happens when two surfaces resist each other. The rubbing creates heat, and the heat is uncomfortable. But the friction is what lights the match. And God is using friction in your life right now. The resistance you feel is not the enemy blocking you. It's two surfaces creating the spark that lights the match. The friction says the discomfort is not the problem. The discomfort is the process. Because without friction the match never lights, and the fire never starts from the scratch. A sword is sharpened by friction, iron sharpens iron. And the rubbing that feels like conflict is the sharpening that produces the edge that cuts the catch. The friction in your relationships, your job, your faith, the resistance that frustrates you is the process of sharpening something that was dull before the batch. And the friction says stop avoiding the resistance. The rub is the sharpening, and the edge being produced will cut through what the dull version couldn't attach. Iron sharpens iron. The friction produces the edge tonight. And the resistance that frustrated me was the sharpening I needed to cut through the fight. The friction, the resistance I felt was not the enemy blocking me. It was two surfaces sharpening me into something with an edge. The friction, the rub was uncomfortable, but the match just lit. Because the heat from the friction was the spark on the ledge. Iron sharpens iron. The friction and what was dull is now sharp. Because the rubbing produced the edge on the edge. The friction and the resistance I wanted to avoid was the exact process that gave me the edge I need for the next pledge. The friction sharpened Jacob, wrestling with God all night. The rub was the hip, the resistance was the angel, and the edge was the new name Israel from the ring. The friction sharpened David, Saul's pursuit was the grinding stone. The rub lasted years, but the edge produced a king who could handle anything. The friction sharpened the early church, persecution was the resistance. The rub scattered the believers, but the edge spread the gospel to every nation and the wing. And the friction says the sharpest people in history went through the longest grinding seasons. Because the edge requires time and resistance and the sting. Your friction is producing an edge right now. You can feel the sharpening. The resistance that frustrated you is the stone that grinds the dull into something worth the ring. The friction says lean into the resistance. The rub produces the edge, and what's being sharpened will come cut through the next obstacle like the king. Oh, the friction, the resistance I felt was not the enemy blocking me. It was two surfaces sharpening me into something with an edge. Oh yeah, the friction. The rub was uncomfortable, but the match just lit, because the heat from the friction was the spark on the ledge. Hey, hey. Two surfaces rub together. The heat builds, the edge gets better. Dull to sharp, resistance to power. Friction is the hour. Ah, the friction, the resistance just produced the sharpest edge I've ever had. And the rub that frustrated me was the grinding stone God used to prepare me. The friction and the God who sharpens with resistance just finished the edge. And what was dull cuts through everything now, and it can free me from every season of resistance I avoided, not knowing the friction was the sharpening, and the edge was the gift that would see me. The friction produced the edge, and the dull season is over. And what's sharp now cuts through what used to stop me and agree with me. The friction, oh, the friction, the friction. The edge is ready. On every airplane, the safety video says, put your oxygen mask on first before helping others, because you can't save anyone if you're unconscious in the road. And God is putting the oxygen mask on you first tonight. You've been trying to save everyone around you, while your own lungs were empty and running low. The oxygen mask says you're not selfish for breathing first. You're strategic, because the one who breathes first is the one who saves the most from the blow. Come to me, all who are weary, and I will give you rest. And the rest is the mask, the breathing before the serving, the filling before the flow. You've been pouring from an empty cup, giving from depleted lungs, saving others while suffocating. And the mask says, breathe first, then go. And the oxygen mask says, this is not retreat, this is refueling. And the one who puts the mask on first saves everyone else in the show. Come to me, and I will give you rest. The oxygen mask goes on first tonight. And the breathing before the serving is the strategy that saves more lives in the light. The oxygen mask, God says breathe first, because the one who puts the mask on saves more people than the one who passes out trying to save without air.
Oh, the oxygen mask.
I've been pouring from empty, giving from depleted.
Oh,
But the mask says, fill your lungs first and then share. Hey! Come to me and rest. The mask and the breathing before the serving is not selfish. It's the order that saves the most in the prayer.
oh, the oxygen mask.
And the God who says rest first, serve second, just place the mask on my face. And the air is filling what was running on bare. The oxygen mask went on Jesus. Jesus first. He withdrew to lonely places to pray. The mass before the miracle, the breathing before the healing and the crowd. The oxygen mask went on Elijah first. Bread, water, sleep, repeat. The angel's prescription was the mass before the 40-day journey that followed loud. The oxygen mask went on David first. The cave was the mask. Worship in isolation was the breathing. Before the throne came the refueling and the shroud. And the oxygen mask says the most productive people in the Bible had the most disciplined rest rhythms. Because the mask goes on first, not after, and the proud. Your mask is going on right now. Breathe, feel, rest. And the servant that follows the breathing will save more lives than the suffocating ever could in the crowd. The oxygen mask says stop being a hero with empty lungs. Breathe first and serve. And the impact doubles because the source of air is now allowed. The oxygen mask, God says, breathe first, because the one who puts the mask on saves more people than the one who passes out trying to save without it. Oxygen mask. I've been pouring from empty, giving from depleted. But the mask says fill your lungs first and then share. Mask on first, then help others. Breathe before saving brothers. Not selfish, but strategic. The oxygen mask is prophetic. The oxygen mask, I just put it on, and the air filled my lungs. It's for the first time in months I can breathe, and the strength returning will save more than the suffocating never did. The oxygen mask, and the God who says rest is for service just filled my tank, and the impact of what I do next will exceed everything I did. Running on empty as I slid. From every day I tried to save others while my own lungs were collapsing, not knowing the mask goes on first and the breathing comes before the bid. The oxygen mask is on and I'm breathing. And the air is full and the serving that follows the rest will change more lives than the exhaustion ever did. The oxygen mask. The oxygen mask. The oxygen mask. Breathe first then serve. Detour sign means the main road is closed. Construction ahead, danger ahead, but the side road takes you to the same destination, just through a different route. And God placed a detour sign on your life. The main road closed, the plan stopped, but the side road He's leading you through reaches the same destination by a different pursuit. The detour feels like delay, but it's protection. The main road had something on it that would have damaged you, and the sign was the save and the substitute. The detour takes longer, the scenery is unfamiliar, and the GPS keeps saying recalculating, but the destination hasn't changed, just the route. In all your ways acknowledge Him and He will make your path straight. And the detour is the straight path, the road that looks crooked but arrives at the absolute. And the detour sign says trust the side road, the main road closed for a reason. And what you'll see on the detour you would have missed on the highway and the commute. He will make your path straight. The detour redirects tonight, and the side road reaches the same destination through a route I would have never chosen, but it's right. The detour sign, the main road closed. close, but the side road reaches the same destination. And the route God chose is safer than the highway I planned. The detour sign, longer route, unfamiliar scenery, but the destination hasn't changed. And the detour is the hand, he makes my path straight. The detour, and the road that looks crooked is the straight path, because it avoids what the main road couldn't withstand. The detour sign, and the closed road I mourned was the protection I needed, because the main road had something on it that God saw from where he stands. The detour took Israel through the desert instead of the short road through Philistine territory. Longer route, but the detour avoided the war that would have broken the nation. The detour took Joseph to prison instead of straight to the throne. Longer routes, but the detour built the stewardship that a shortcut couldn't produce in the duration. The detour took Moses through 40 years of desert instead of straight to the mission. Longer route, but the detour stripped the ego that would have corrupted the destination. The detour says the longest routes in the Bible produce the most prepared arrivals, because the side road builds what the highway skips in the formation. Your detour is active right now, the main road is closed and the side road feels longer, but the destination is the same, and the preparation. The detour says keep driving, the GPS says recalculating, but the driver knows the road and the arrival is guaranteed by the foundation. The detour sign, the main road close, but the side road reaches the same destination. And the route God chose is safer than the highway I planned. The detour sign, longer route, unfamiliar scenery, but the destination hasn't changed. And the detour is the hand, main road closed, side road open. The destination is not broken. Longer route, safer drive. The detour sign keeps me alive. The detour sign, the side road just merged back onto the highway, and the destination is in sight. And the detour I cursed was the protection I needed the whole time. The detour sign, and the God who closes roads open side roads that reach the same place. And the detour built what the highway would have missed in the climb. From every closed road I mourned, not knowing the detour was the straight path, and the side road was the safety and the paradigm. The detour sign led me here, and the destination is the same, and the route was different, but the arrival is right on time. The detour sign, the detour sign, the detour sign. Same destination, different road. When a computer freezes, the tech support says, have you tried turning it off and on again? The manual reset, the simplest fix for the most complex problem on the screen. And God is doing a manual reset on your life tonight, turning the system off, clearing the cache. And when it powers back on, the errors are gone, and the system is clean. The manual reset doesn't delete your files, your memories, your experiences, your identities stay. But the errors, the bugs, The frozen loops are cleared from the machine, creating me a clean heart. And the clean heart is the manual reset, the restart that clears the errors while preserving the data in between. The manual reset says the frozen screen you've been staring at for months just needs a restart. Not a replacement, not a new computer, just power off and power on to the key. And the manual reset says the system coming back online will run faster than before the freeze, because the cache is clear and the errors are clean, creating me a clean heart. The manual reset restarts tonight, and the frozen system that wouldn't respond is powered down, and the restart brings everything back to the light. The manual reset, God is turning the system off and on again, and the errors that froze my life are being cleared, and the restart is loading clean. The manual reset, files preserve memories intact, but the bugs are gone and the frozen screen just powered back on to the scene, creating me a clean heart. The reset and the system that comes back online runs faster because the cache is cleared from the machine. The manual reset and the life that was frozen is rebooting, and the errors are cleared and the operating system is clean. The manual reset rebooted Peter, frozen after the denial, but the beach breakfast was the restart, and the system came back online as the rock of the church and the new. The manual reset rebooted Jonah, frozen in the belly of the fish, but the shore was the restart, and the system ran to Nineveh on the breakthrough. The manual reset rebooted Israel, frozen in Babylon for 70 years, but the return to Jerusalem was the restart, and the temple was rebuilt like new. And the manual reset says the longest freezes get the cleanest restarts, because the cache that needed clearing was deeper than a quick reboot could undo. Your system is restarting right now. The screen went black, the power cycle, and the system loading back up is cleaner and faster than before the freeze that grew. The manual reset says wait for the startup. The loading bar is almost complete, and the version of you that comes back online is upgraded and true. The manual reset, God is turning the system off and on again, and the errors that froze my life are being cleared, and the restart is loading clean. The manual reset, files preserve memories intact, but the bugs are gone and the frozen screen just power back on to the scene. Power off, power on. The errors clear, the bugs are gone. Files preserve, system clean. The manual reset is the best I've seen. The manual reset, the system just came back online, and it's running faster than before the freeze, and the errors that plagued me for months are gone clean. The manual reset and the God who restarts frozen systems just powered mine back on, and the clean version is loading, and what I feel disappeared. From every frozen screen I stared at, thinking the system was dead, not knowing a restart would fix what felt permanently impaired. The manual reset completed, and the system runs, and the errors are gone, and the cache is clear, and the life that froze is now repaired. The manual reset, the manual reset, restart complete.
A compass rose is drawn on every map. It shows 4 directions: north, south, east, west. And no matter how lost you are, the compass rose reminds you that direction exists, that there is a north tonight. God is placing a compass rose on the map of your life. You're not lost. You just need to look at the rose. Share this with someone who needs peaceful music today. This sound was made to be passed on. Whether you turn to the right or to the left, your ears will hear a voice behind you saying, "This is the way, walk in it." Isaiah 30 verse 21.
A compass rose sits on every map. 4 points, north, south, east, west. And no matter how lost you feel, the rose says direction exists, and the way is found. And God placed a compass rose on the map of your life. You feel lost, the terrain is unfamiliar, but direction exists, and the voice behind you says, "This is the way, walk on this ground." The compass rose doesn't move, it stays fixed, and the lost traveler finds orientation, not by walking but by looking at the rose that was always on the map. And the sound, "This is the way,
Walk in it.
and the voice is the compass rose, the fixed direction that speaks when every road looks the same and you feel spun around. The compass rose says you're not lost,
You're disoriented.
and the difference is that lost means no direction exists, but disoriented means direction exists, and you just
Haven't looked down.
And the compass rose says, "Look at the map, the rose is there, 4 points, and the direction you need is one of them, and the way is found."
This is the way, walk in it.
The compass rose appears tonight, and the direction I couldn't find was on the map. The whole time I just needed to look at the rose in the light. The compass rose, I felt lost, but direction exists, because the rose on the map shows
4 points.
and one of them is the way. God is calling me to walk,
The compass rose.
not lost, but disoriented. And the difference is the rose that was on the map before I started walking. And the talk,
This is the way,
the voice behind me,
the compass rose.
and the direction was always there.
I just needed to stop.
And look at the
The
chalk,
compass rose.
and the God who places direction on every map just pointing north, and my feet know which way to walk. The compass rose pointed Abraham north. Leave your country, one direction from the rose, and the traveler walked into a nation with the scope. The compass rose pointed Moses east. Go to Pharaoh, one direction from the rose, and the deliverer walked into the most powerful throne room with hope. The compass rose pointed Ruth west. Follow Naomi, one direction from the rose, and the widow walked into a love story that produced a king. And the compass rose says every great journey started with one direction from the rose, because the traveler only needs 1 point to orient and cope. Your compass rose is showing you a direction right now. 1 point, one way. This is the way, walk in it. And the disorientation ends with the scope. The compass rose says, "Look at the map. The rose is fixed, the direction is clear, and the feet that felt lost are about to walk with purpose." And the slope, the compass rose, I felt lost, but direction exists, compass rose shows solid ground. The compass rose, I just looked at the map and the rose was there the whole time. And the direction I needed was one of the 4 points, and my feet know the way now. The compass rose, and the God who places direction on every map just said, this is the way, and the disorientation ended. And the path is clear somehow from every road I wandered, thinking I was lost, not knowing the compass rose was on my map the entire time, and the way was available in doubt. The compass rose showed me north, and my feet are walking, and the direction is clear, and the voice behind you says, this is the way, and I know how. The compass rose, the compass rose, the compass rose, this is the way. A floodgate holds back a reservoir of water, millions of gallons. And when the gate opens, the release is not a trickle, it's a torrent that covers everything downstream. And God has a floodgate over your life, blessings stored behind the gate, pressed and packed and waiting. And when the gate lifts, the release will exceed every dream. The floodgate says the waiting was the filling. Every day the gate stayed closed, the water level rose higher. And the higher the level, the more powerful the release stream. I will open the floodgates of heaven and pour out so much blessing, there will not be room enough. Malachi said it, and the floodgate is about to open with a gleam. The floodgate says what's been held back is proportional to the time it was held. And the years of closed gates produced a reservoir so full, the release will overwhelm the scheme. And the floodgate says the reason it didn't come as a trickle is because God was filling the reservoir, and the torrent that comes when the gate lifts will redeem. I will open the floodgates of heaven, the gate lifts tonight, and the blessing held back for years is about to pour with a force that covers everything in sight. The floodgate, years of holding back, produced a reservoir so full that when the gate lifts, the release won't be a trickle, it will be a flood. Oh, the floodgate, I will open the floodgates of heaven and pour so much there won't be room. And the gate is lifting, and the blood, the waiting was the filling, the closed gate was the building, and the torrent that's coming exceeds the stud. The floodgate, and the blessing that was held back is about to cover everything downstream, because the reservoir is full, and the release is the flood. The floodgate opened for Israel at the Red Sea. Years of slavery built the reservoir, and the release was an ocean splitting and a nation walking free. The floodgate opened for Solomon at the temple dedication. The glory so thick the priest couldn't stand. The reservoir of worship overflowed in the key. The floodgate opened at Pentecost. 10 days of prayer filled the reservoir, and the release was tongues of fire, and 3,000 souls artist waits, because the gate needs time to fill the reservoir above what you can see. A floodgate is about to open. You can hear the metal groaning, the water pressing against the gate, and the release that comes will cover everything from the tree. The floodgate says stand downstream. The gate is lifting, and what pours out will exceed what you prayed for, because the reservoir held more than your prayer could foresee. The floodgate, years of holding back, produced a reservoir so full that when the gate lifts, the release won't be a trickle, it will be a flood. Oh, the floodgate, I will open the floodgates of heaven and pour so much there won't be room. And the gate is lifting, and the blood gate lifting, water pressing, the torrent comes beyond the blessing. Years of waiting built the reserve. The floodgate gives what I deserve. The floodgate, the gate just lifted, and the torrent is pouring, and the blessing that was held back for years is covering everything downstream, and there's not room enough to contain it. The floodgate, and the God who stores behind the gate just released what was building, and the force of the blessing exceeds the force of the waiting, and I can't explain it. From every year I stared at a closed gate, thinking nothing was happening, not knowing the reservoir was filling, and the longer the wait, the bigger the torrent to reclaim it. The floodgate is open, and the blessing pours, and the downstream is covered, and the waiting built the reservoir, and the release is more than I can name it. The floodgate, the floodgate, the floodgate, the gate just opened. Scar tissue is stronger than the original skin. Doctors know this. The body rebuilds the wound site with tougher fiber, because the healed version must survive what the original couldn't. And God is building scar tissue over your wounds right now. The wound was real, the cut was deep, but what grows over it is stronger than what was there before, and it shouldn't be doubted. The scar tissue doesn't pretend the wound never happened. The scar is visible, the mark remains, but the tissue underneath is reinforced steel where there used to be cotton. He heals the broken-hearted and binds up their wounds, and the binding is the scar tissue, the stronger version that grows over what was broken and what was rotten. The scar is not shame, it's proof of survival, and the tissue that covers it is the strongest part of your body, because it was rebuilt from the bottom. And the scar tissue says the wound site is now the strongest point. What broke you is now what reinforces you, and the scar is the metal, not the forgotten. Oh, he heals the broken-hearted. The scar tissue forms tonight. Oh. And the wound that broke me is being covered by something stronger than the original and the site. The scar tissue, the wound was real, but what grows over it is stronger than the original skin, and the healed version survives. Ooh. What broke the first one? Hey! The scar tissue, the scar remains visible, but underneath is reinforced strength, and the wound site became the toughest part of the one. He heals the broken-hearted. Scar tissue stronger than before the cut was done.
The scar tissue
And the wound I thought would define me just became my strongest point, because God rebuilt with reinforced material, and it's one. Scar tissue covered Jacob's hip. The wrestling wound became the limp that proved he touched God, and the scar was the trophy of the night. Scar tissue covered Peter's guilt. The denial wound healed into the boldest preaching the church ever heard, because the break sight became the might. Scar tissue covered Jesus' hands. The nail wounds remained after resurrection.
scars visible.
And Thomas touched them and believed, because the scars were the light. And the scar tissue says the most powerful testimonies come from the deepest wounds, because the scar that forms is proportional to the cut and the fight. Yeah, your wound is forming scar tissue right now.
The healing is happening.
And the strength building over the wound site will exceed
The original with delight.
the scar tissue says the wound made you weaker, but the scar makes you stronger. And the place where you broke is now the place that holds the most might. Yeah.
Scar tissue
The wound was real, but what grows over it is
stronger than the original skin.
and the healed version survives what broke the first one. Yeah.
The scar tissue
The scar remains visible, but underneath
is reinforced strength.
and the wound site became the toughest part of the one. The wound was deep, the scar is strong. What broke me once can't break me long. Reinforced, rebuilt,
Scar tissue
has no guilt. The scar tissue
the wound is covered, and what
grew over it is
stronger than what was there before.
and the wound site is now the toughest point
On my body
yeah, the scar tissue
and the God who heals the brokenhearted.
just reinforced my wound with something the original skin never had, and it's not shardy. From every wound I thought would define me forever, not knowing the scar tissue
That forms over it
is stronger than the original and the embodied. The scar tissue is formed and the wound
is covered.
and the strongest part of me is the place that was once the most broken, and nobody. The scar tissue
Scar tissue
stronger where it broke. Yeah. You've been holding your breath, weeks, maybe months. The inhale happened, but the exhale never came. And your chest is tight with air that was never released. And God is giving you permission to exhale tonight.
let it out.
The held breath, the stored tension, the swallowed scream. The exhale is the release and the peace. The exhale is not weakness, it's the completion of the cycle. Because a breath that never releases becomes poison, and the body needs the release to increase. Cast your anxiety on Him, and the casting is the exhale. The moment the held air leaves the lungs and the chest drops, and the tension finds its crease. The exhale is louder than the inhale. The sigh, the release, the sound of something heavy leaving the body and the ease. And the exhale says, breathe out everything you've been holding. Let the air carry it out of your lungs, and the chest opens and the peace.
Cast your anxiety on Him.
The exhale releases tonight, and the breath I've been holding for months just left my lungs, and the chest open and the light.
The exhale.
I've been holding my breath for months, but tonight God gave me permission to release, and the air left and the tension broke from my chest.
The exhale.
The sigh, the release, the sound of something heavy leaving my body, and the peace that follows the breath is the best. Cast your anxiety.
The exhale.
And the casting is the moment the held air leaves, and the lungs expand and the rest.
The exhale.
And the breath I just released carried everything I was holding, and the chest is open and the peace is possessed. The exhale happened for David in the Psalms. Pour out your complaint, the held breath of kingship released on paper, and the lungs expanded and the song. The exhale happened for Hannah at the temple. The held breath of barrenness released in silent prayer, and the chest opened and the wait wasn't long. The exhale happened for Jesus in Gethsemane. The held breath of the world sin released in sweat and prayer, and the lungs prepared for the cross and the strong. And the exhale says the strongest people in history had the deepest exhales, because the held breath requires the biggest release to belong. Your exhale is happening right now, let it go. The air is leaving, the tension is breaking, and the chest that was locked is opening in the song. The exhale says don't hold it anymore, breathe out everything, and the peace that follows the release is deeper than anything the holding could prolong. The exhale. I've been holding my breath for months, but tonight God gave me permission to release, and the air left and the tension broke from my chest.
The exhale.
The sigh, the release, the sound of something heavy leaving my body, and the peace that follows the breath is the best. Breathe out, let it go. The tension breaks, the peace flows. Held too long, release that last. The exhale frees the past.
The exhale.
I just breathed out everything I was holding, and the chest opened, and the peace that flooded in is deeper than anything the tension could produce.
The exhale.
And the God who gives permission to release just said, breathe out, and the air carried the anxiety out of my lungs. And the truce from every month I held my breath, thinking strength meant never exhaling, not knowing the held air was becoming poison and the recluse. The exhale happened and the air left, and the chest is open and the peace is here, and the breath cycle is complete, and the abuse is the refuse. The exhale. The exhale. Breathe out, breathe out.